Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. It is that time of the week for the Cannabis Events Talk Show, hosted by Event.io, and I am your host, Adelia Carrillo. Event.io is an online ticketing platform catering to the cannabis culture. We provide a compliant ticketing software for event organizers to sell tickets and sponsorships for their cannabis-related events. And on the Cannabis Events Talk Show, we produce this show every Thursday of the week. It's a monthly series, and we dive into all things about cannabis events, experiences, and tourism. We want to keep you updated on the hottest topics from the current news, trends, interviews with special guests, to marketing tips, and so much more. Now, for those that are new here, we are streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Feel free to join the conversation, submit questions, or just share any thoughts or viewpoints to the conversation that we're having today with today's special guest. So the lineup of the show is we'll have a one-on-one interview with our special guest of the week. Then we will talk about one news article. We'll do a quick overview, and then our guest she will provide some insider insight into how it works in her area. And then I have some end of announcements on my end, and that'll be the end of the show. So it's a pretty quick segment. We like to keep you all informed, entertained, and learning something new. So with that being said, I would like to introduce you all to this week's guest, Dr. Imani Brown. Dr. Imani Brown is the first Social Equity Program Director for the Los Angeles Department of Cannabis Regulation. Within this role, she oversees the department's business, licensing, compliance, and technical assistance program and the Cannabis Workforce Development Initiative. In addition, Dr. Brown is responsible for the department's pro and low Bono legal services and grants program. She works with the city, state, and local thought leaders to implement equity-centered policy reforms. And the goal of the social equity program is to promote equitable ownership and employment opportunities in the cannabis industry in order to decrease disparities from marginalized communities and to address the disproportionate impacts of the war on drugs in those communities. Now, for 25 years, Dr. Brown has been involved with the progressive policy initiatives, public-private partnerships, and inner-city sustainable economic development projects. She has worked at the federal, state, and local levels of government to secure economic resources and training for small businesses, as well as create groundbreaking programs specifically for minority and female entrepreneurs. Her passion is to affect progressive policy reforms and contribute to the equitable participation of people of color in the licensed cannabis space. Now, Dr. Brown has directed hundreds of millions of dollars in economic development in Southern California and has created multiple community-centered workforce development projects. She also was recently appointed to the Cannabis Advisory Committee for the DCC. Now, Dr. Brown also earned her doctorate degree from USC Sol Price School of Public Policy in 2009. With that being said, welcome, Dr. Imani Brown. Thank you for joining us.
Well, that was a lot, Adelia. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. It's nice to meet everyone.
Well, and you have done a lot for this industry, for the industry and the community. You know, the community, especially minorities and women entrepreneurs. So. A lengthy intro, but I think everybody needed. I would love to share for them to all know.
Thank you.
Now let's get into it. You have a very incredible, strong background and have definitely made an impact, like I stated, for years outside of the cannabis industry. To kick off this interview, what led you to the cannabis industry?
Well, I've been a proponent of cannabis my whole adult life, and I personally believe in its healing qualities. I also believe that it is a sustainable economic engine that could really help to improve, life outcomes for, underserved communities. And so after Prop 64 was passed and DCR was created, I wanted to lend my voice to make sure that, the foundation of this program was equity focused. We're just coming out of prohibition, and we've had to just create everything from the ground up. All the infrastructure was not in place. And because of my experiences with small businesses and economic development, I see cannabis as that. I mean, some serious economic development. And also, Adelia, I want to see Black and Brown people participate in this multi-billion-dollar industry. And
Exactly.
so that is what led me to just go ahead and apply and throw my hat in, and here we are.
Here we are, yes. And you dove in, and you can see, many people joke and they say being in the cannabis industry is like dog years, because just it's always moving. It's so quick pace,
Yes,
and
yes,
I'm sure you
yes.
felt that.
I have. I really have. It's an exciting time, but it's also it's very political. It's a heavy lift because a huge community of people, were disproportionately impacted by the failed war on drugs. I mean, so many of us are still in jail for possession, and
Exactly.
so we have to right that wrong.
Mhm.
And I'm a strong advocator, and I'm not afraid to speak truth to power. And I wanted to lend my voice to be able to create something sustainable and impactful.
Well, that's what we do need. We definitely need that. Again, the industry moves so fast paced that sometimes I feel it does get forgotten where we're at, really, what is
Yes,
really happening, and how there are still people in jail for this plant and in prison. So, again, having individuals like yourself who will continue to stick up and be that voice is a huge component. Now, within the role as the Social Equity Program Director for the Los Angeles Department of Cannabis Regulation, again, you do see you oversee those departments, as I mentioned above, which was business licensing, compliance, and the technical assistance program, along with the Cannabis Workforce Development. To dive into the licensing component, when it comes to licensing, are you seeing the LA cannabis industry utilize the cannabis event license specifically?
mm. Well, yes and no. I mean, that's a huge, that's a tent.
Yeah.
Although the event license type is not currently available in Los Angeles, we have still seen a wide variety of cannabis events take place in the city, right? So these events have mostly focused on networking or providing, a space for operators to market their businesses, to discuss like best practices or industry trends, in addition to attracting investors and employees for the industry. We're really committed to creating equity policies in all that we do. And to that end, the department has designated retail, delivery, and cultivation licenses exclusively for verified social equity applicants until 2025. And that's a big deal. It really is. So
Yes.
we're trying to help our equity entrepreneurs have a chance before big pharma or big tobacco come in and try to take over everything with the multiple state operators. We're trying to give them a chance to stand up their businesses.
That's going to be pivotal. Those that time will be it again. It allows them to get the access they need for fundraising and even
Yes,
the tools. This is a whole a new model with learning how to run a compliant and licensed business too. So they're going to have to everybody in that realm of it. But that time will be
yes.
very very vital. Thank you for giving us that insight. Yeah, I was curious in the cannabis event landscape there. It's always been a big industry of events over there, and it's good to see how they're utilizing it in a variety of ways. It's not just sessions or what people think of as a
Right.
cannabis event. There's so much around that. Now, kind of going in a little bit more, one thing we've heard from many of those in California cannabis event sector is how the CEO license has been a bit unattainable for small event organizers. I know you mentioned that they're not currently in LA a license for them, but just from your own viewpoint, there's small event organizers, they want to incorporate consumption in their events. Do you think over time, as a whole, from California, we'll see a tiered system to allow more access to
Mhm.
cannabis licensing?
Well, currently, the state offers two cannabis event license types.
Okay.
The first one is the event organizer license. Let's say for a person who's hosting a cannabis event, they have to get an organizer's license. And then they have to also obtain a temporary cannabis event license for the event they choose to be on, right? Or they choose to host.
Mhm.
Um, Now, cannabis events can only be held by the person with the event organizer license, and currently the city does not offer an event organizer license or a temporary license. But I do believe, Adelia, that as the cannabis space continues to grow and a number of operators increase, that I do have confidence that the cannabis event license will come online. Like, for example, California state law now has cannabis consumption lounge licenses, right? In
Yes, yeah.
conjunction with retail. But they do have to have local approval. Like, for example, West Hollywood, they have consumption lounge licenses, which
Yeah.
is fabulous. They kind of have had the model of what is it called? Oh my goodness, it just goes like cabaret style. You
Yeah.
know, you
Oh,
go into their lounges and they have entertainment. They don't serve alcohol, but they serve food. And I think you can, their retail might be next door, so you can buy your product and they'll go in and consume and have a fabulous time and have entertainment. And West Hollywood has been very, very successful in that. And so we're advocating to offer consumption lounge licenses here in LA. The city council isn't there yet because they have to approve everything that we try to, put forth. But
okay.
as I said, as the industry continues to grow and people get more and more educated, and communities and neighborhood councils get more educated, there won't be this fear. It's a
Mm-hmm.
fear that people
Yeah.
have because they're not educated about cannabis and the consumption of cannabis. So I'm looking forward to the day that we can offer those different license types, the event operator license types. It's going to happen, but for right now, it's not available in the city of LA.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for giving that insight and touching in on the consumption lounges. Yeah, because it's happening out in West Hollywood. Now, again, for the LADCR, the Social Equity Program, the organization recently collaborated with Oaksterdam and hosted the Workforce Hiring Mixer. How did it go? Why are these events important to be hosted?
I'm so excited that you asked that. The Workforce Hiring Mixer was extremely well attended. And for those who don't know, these virtual mixers, they're a part of our workforce development initiative, right? And so we're calling these mixers our Workforce Wednesday series. And they
Okay.
focus on hiring and employer practices. We recognize that everybody is not going to be an entrepreneur. So we're really trying to create a trained cannabis workforce. There's a lot of, lucrative careers in the cannabis space. So the series focuses on subject matter experts to discuss supply chain employers, coaching employers, hiring best practices, and a lot of great discussion on building and maintaining employer-employee relationships. These are held monthly, and it's a great opportunity to learn about all the resources and tips from other successful operators and influential entrepreneurs in the industry. So, through our collaboration with Oaksterdam, we've created this platform to share knowledge and to generate new ideas. Creating the forum helps us learn. We learn from each other, and whether you're seeking a job or looking to grow your business or looking to implement the good faith hiring requirements that all operators have to comply with, this is a great tool for you to be able to do so. So we urge everybody to register. Our next Workforce Wednesday is November 9th. You can go online to cannabis.lacity.org and click on the business licensing and compliance tab and just go to virtual mixer November 9th. So check it out.
That is great. That sounds, and this is virtual, so anyone, you can tune in from wherever you are in LA. It is
Yep.
more focused for LA, but people could tune in if they're from elsewhere. Is that
Well, all
possible?
of this is for, yes, you can tune in terms of, if you're an employer, it's basically for licensed employers.
Gotcha.
All that we do, considering we are the Department of Cannabis Regulations, so we operate in the licensed market. The unlicensed market is another conversation, but we're always trying to build and grow and help stand up and encourage people to come into the licensed market. So these resources are available for them.
That's huge. That is very huge. And we have the website up on the screen right here. Again, it's cannabis.lacity.org to learn more about those virtual event mixers. Now, for event organizers who are building out their agenda and curriculum, what what are some tips on how they can make sure they are providing education and awareness towards social equity?
I would recommend that people go onto our website, the Social Equity Program. We've created a robust suite of curricula for social equity applicants and licensees. Through our BLC program, Business Licensing and Compliance, better known as the BLC, our social equity applicants have access to our online self-paced curriculum. It's fabulous. It's called our learning management system. It's a platform and a software, and we have over 100 hours, Adelia, on cannabis specific educational content, and it's provided by our subject matter experts, and it also includes over 60 hours of interactive webinars with live Q&A, and it will provide everything an entrepreneur will need to know to stand up their business, like classes on marketing and branding, accounting, insurance, cannabis app technology, right? How to develop your business, step by step on the licensure process, and so much more. It's everything you need to know how to stand up your business and stay in compliance. We also offer small group coaching sessions with these same subject matter experts. We offer over 300 hours of one-on-one business coaching for free. And then we have our pro bono and low bono legal services. We have a partnership with the LA County Bar Association. They can get 10 hours of free service, and then the low bono up to 30 hours at $30 an hour. And so all of these, we're looking at an ecosystem, right? And we're trying to meet people where they are. And we know through our surveys and our feedback and our analytics that there's three major, barriers to participating in the cannabis space. One is access to capital.
Mm-hmm.
The second is access to compliant property here in LA. And the third is access to affordable legal services. So that's where we are focusing our resources and our education to, as I said, meet these entrepreneurs where they are so that they can be competitive in the cannabis space.
Wow, that is huge. Just knowing that it's all accessible right there. And,
Yes.
those that are tuning in, share the word with those that are in LA that are looking at getting a license or currently in that process. This is pivotal information and can help so much, especially that licensing, the legal component, like you said, that is.
It is, Adelia. I'm telling you, I'm so proud of what my team, and we're a small team, but we're a mighty team, and everybody really cares. We give a damn.
Yeah.
And so we're really seriously committed to helping people participate. And the departments, of course, after Prop 64, 2016, the department was created in 2017, but the social equity program didn't come online until 2019. That's when I got hired. And so we built this from nothing. And that's why I'm so excited to share this information, because we want everybody who is, who is qualified to participate and take advantage of these resources.
Yes, yes. Well, for 2019 and already all that content has been created and is out there and accessible. You all have been working. Your team is definitely mighty.
We have been working very hard, and we have a collaboration with 5 wonderful vendors who have helped us, and Oaksterdam is one of them who in collaboration with us have created all this wonderful content. So it takes a village, and we continue to support each other, and all of us have shared values. That's very important to us, that the people who work with us have shared values, that they're progressive in terms of equity-centered policy reform. That is a must, that you have to be of that mindset to work in this program. Yeah. So the program reflects those values.
Those values. Wow. Well, again, thank you for sharing that. There is an event coming up. You are going to be a keynote speaker at. It's called the State of Cannabis Conference, for those that are unfamiliar. Can you share possibly a few takeaways that you'll be highlighting during your keynote?
Okay, well, yes, I'm going to be the keynote speaker, and I'll be highlighting our fabulous educational resources I just shared with you. I'm going to be giving some updates on our licensure and verification process. I'll be discussing some of our own challenges and barriers that we faced as a department. And I want to spend some time on where the future of cannabis looks like in terms of social equity and where we're headed. So I want to have a conversation with folks so people can plan. And I also want to manage expectations. I think, now that the department is 5 years in, I think it's time now to really have candid and realistic conversations to folks. We want to help build generational wealth. We do not want to be a part of, you know, building generational debt because people don't have the information or they have unrealistic views about being an entrepreneur. This is a serious industry. It's a very competitive industry. The margins of profit are small, so people need to know what they're getting into so that they don't get their family into generational debt.
That is huge. That's going to be a great one. And we'll be, for those that are interested, you can find more information about this event on Event High. Again, it's called the State of Cannabis Conference with the Z in cannabis. And we have two more questions. We're almost through the show, so I don't want to take too much more of your time. But why do you think events are important for the industry?
Hmm. Well, I think that's a very overarching question. Um, both virtual events and in-person events have always been effective in all industries across the board, right? But I think events allow folks to connect with the community. It allows them to connect with stakeholders and industry participants. It provides a space for people to network and collaborate and interact with each other. During the 2 years that the city was dealing with the devastations of COVID, our virtual mixers and webinars, we had business owners and investors and social equity individuals, licensees, and so many different entities in the cannabis space. We were able to connect on a level that enabled folks to not feel so isolated, right? Events allow people to be creative. They reach folks in different ways. Each interactive event provides a platform, if you will, that encourages people to participate and remain curious. They can ask questions, they can find out about new opportunities. And this is an ever evolving, fast paced market. So I encourage events at all levels in the cannabis space.
Yep, such good information about that. And obviously being here at Event High, we're all about events. So we want to see
Right.
them continuing furthering education on our end. Now, one last question, what does the LADCR have in store for the rest of the year?
Oh, well, we're very, very busy. We're going to continue with our summer winter series of webinars as part of our BLC and compliance. We recently launched our low Bono program, as I talked about. Um, we're going to continue on with trying to create resources and content to share education. It's about education, on many levels, not just education for our prospective operators and licensees, but educating the public, like neighborhood associations, so they don't immediately want to, file a complaint with the LAPD, or just to be proactive in educating folks so that when a new operator comes into their community, that they're not immediately against them, right? And so education is a big part of what's to come. We're really finalizing our verification, and we're going to open up a lottery at probably the end of this year. So we had a window of 60 days as per our municipal code, but the window closed in July, and so we're just finishing up doing all the approvals for the verification, and so that's coming down the pike, and we're excited to see this lottery happen. We have about 125 retail licenses left. As you know, there's a cap on retail in the city of LA. The code says that it's one dispensary per every 10,000 residents, Adelia, and there's 4 million people in LA. That's approximately 400 retail licenses. And, there's a problem with that because it has, you have to have sensitive use issues and all of these different kinds of barriers but
Yeah.
we're really looking forward to the lottery and seeing new people get licenses. So we're going to focus on that for the rest of the year. Hopefully, continue to go after grants. We need more resources to share with the community. So
Mhm.
that's one of my major goals is to try to, secure more grant funding, more funding from our general fund, because we turn around and give that directly back to our entrepreneurs and licensees.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, those that are interested in learning more, getting access to this information, staying updated, or even attending the working hiring force mixer, we have the website up on the screen. Normally we have an article of the week, but we are close to ending of time. So I think you've shared enough information that we can share, look into and really gain value from. So,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Imani, and thank you for joining us today. Any final words before we let you go today?
Yes, I just want to shout out to my team. They are such a fabulous group of people, and it, we don't do this alone. It's a lot of people who care, and my specific team on the social equity, program, we are committed, and we are just so enthusiastic and hopeful of what's to come for equity entrepreneurs, and we are walking this journey with them, and we want them to know that we support them. And I want to just take a minute to thank my team for all their work and commitment to this social experiment. So thank
Yes.
you, everybody.
Yes. Well, thank you again, Dr. Imani Brown.
Thank you
We
for
will be
having me, Adelia. I appreciate it.
Yes, we will be sure to spread the word. This valuable education is so powerful and helpful. And if everybody were able to access it, which you have made it accessible, we just need to make sure they know about it now. So
Yes,
it'll be our
yes.
part to help share it as well. But again, thank you again so much for your time, and we look forward to
Thank
staying
you.
in touch.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Uh, All right, everyone. And we just have a couple announcements before we let you all go. But that was such amazing information and conversation, for what's going to be happening in LA, what is going on, what is accessible right now for minority owners and business owners and women owners that are looking to get a license in the cannabis space. Now, before we end the show, so one announcement that we wanted to share was Encinitas is holding a cannabis business license lottery on October 21st, so tomorrow. So for those that are in California, specifically in San Diego and Encinitas, if you weren't aware, there is going to be a business lottery license happening on October 1st. It's going to be at 1 p.m. at the City Hall. Encinitas will pick its 4 winning applicants for a cannabis retail business license, which will be televised as well. Now, for those that like to know about our weekly event of the week, this week's event of the week is Flower Ball. Flower Ball is happening in Chicago. It's the KVL International Flower Ball. It's an event like no other. They're going to have a fusion of fashion and cannabis communities. And the KVL Flower Ball is a cannabis expo with multiple immersive experiences, followed by a fashion show co-hosted by Power 92.3's Money Maha and a DJ set by the legendary DJ Ferris and DJ Nepitz. Now, this is going to be held in the world-renowned Sin City Chicago studios located west of downtown Chicago. An event will be attended by brands, operators, and cannabis and fashion enthusiasts from across the U.S. and Canada. So those that are interested can learn more at eventhi.io. The event is called KVL Flower Ball. And with that being said, thank you all again for tuning in to our weekly show, the Cannabis Events Talk Show. Join us every Thursday around 12 p.m. For our segment. Now, thank you all again. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay high. Bye.